All right, our first speaker of the night is Joshua Lumpkin, who tells us he is a self-identified geek who knows no greater joy than playing board games with friends. His hope is that after you watch him speak tonight about his hobby, you too will be bitten by the board game bug. Joshua.
That's true. Hey, well thank you, sir. Hey, thanks. Thank you, fellow glasses wearers. All right, here we go. All right, so my name's Joshua. I'm a huge fan of board games. And chances are, when I say board games, you picture something like this, Monopoly. And you probably have some not-so-nice memories of bickering over whether or not you're supposed to get the bail money when you land on free parking or whatever. The rules say that you do not. Or maybe you have fond memories of playing Scrabble with Grandma. This is my grandma. She's been playing Scrabble for 6 decades and will likely kick your ass if you ever play her. She might let you win the second game, though, so she can convince you to play best 2 out of 3. But I'm here to convince you that there's a whole world of gaming outside of the mass market classics. There are gigantic board games based on popular intellectual properties, such as Firefly, where you can spend hours exploring the verse with your loved ones. These games rely on fandom and nostalgia to make you feel like you're right there in an episode of the show. They also come with cool plastic models and are basically toys for grown-ups. There's also itty-bitty games, too, like this one called Tiny Epic Galaxies. Not only does it fit in your pocket, but it can be played in just 30 minutes. It's perfect for your break at nursing school if you hate yourself enough to put yourself through that. There are also, these sorts of micro games combine strategy, depth, and just a little bit of luck into a small package. My wife is going to kill me for putting this one up here. That's her on the couch. Anyway, I'm here to tell you that there's no better time to get into hobby board gaming, and that I think you should give it a try. Sales of board games have more than doubled in the last 2 years, and it is one of the most accessible hobbies out there, and I'd argue one of the most satisfying. There's basically 2 types of board games. There's European-style board games, which are typically entirely strategic in nature. That means they rely on no elements of random chance. Euro games usually don't have dice or flashy plastic models like these. I just don't have any good pictures of Euro games. Then the counterpart to the Euro game is what is affectionately known as Ameritrash. These games are more thematic in nature, and they have cool plastic models. They're generally story-driven and might involve chucking fistfuls of dice. This is a game called Star Wars Imperial Assault. Lots of fun, you should play it. And then there's also games that combine elements of both Euro games and Ameritrash. This game is called Time Stories. And if you remember the show Quantum Leap, Time Stories is basically that in board game form. There's modules that you can get that basically allow players to leap into different time periods and scenarios. Each module is a new setting, and players must complete challenging and complex puzzles. Or maybe you'd rather save the world from pestilence and disease. If so, Pandemic is your game. Players cooperate to cure and eradicate diseases and make the world safe again. Pictured here is the legacy version, which allows you to stick stickers all over it and destroy some cards, which makes the gameplay evolve. But no matter what kind of game you like, this one's Hero Quest. It's old school. But whatever kind of game you like, Dayton is a hotbed of activity for the hobby. There's events going on every night of the week for aspiring gamers, and we are incredibly fortunate to have so many awesome gaming resources in our town. And I'm excited to share some of those with you, because it's rad. So this is my friend Clay Ross. He's from Union. He started a company called Capstone Games, and they publish English language versions of complicated European board games. This game's called Arkwright. It's one of my faves. It's a strategic economic hell ride where players operate factories in order to increase their portfolio value. Sounds fun, right? So the Miami Valley has no less than 10 stores that sell board games. In this slide, I've pictured just a few of the many. Most of these retailers also have areas where players can play games, and they host meetups throughout the week where folks of all ages can bring that game they've been dying to try out. These stores provide a vital service to our community. This is D20. I'm real excited about it. It's Dayton's first board game bar. They open on They open on Saturday. They have 20 craft beer taps and tons of board games. So it's like my 2 favorite things in the world, beer and games, right? And I can't wait for it to open. It's going to be awesome. It's over in Kettering by the Kroger on Whip. You messed me up. Now, GeekDayton.com hosts a board game night at Proto Build Bar every so often. Full disclosure, I co-founded GeekDayton.com, but I'm not really involved anymore. This is Andy Klosky. He's a cool guy. He is a board game designer and a writer. This is his game Dwarven Defenders, where players, basically, it's semi-cooperative, so it's the rest of the players versus one player, and the one player is trying to send out undead zombies to defile your temple. And this is Galatoon. It's a cool battle card style game that is now entered into the production phase. It has beautiful anime-inspired artwork and a rich and engaging backstory that he hopes to explore in a comic book series. Ohio Gaming Brigade, they are a group of people who host events. Their last event was called Dayton Design Game Night, and basically it was local board game designers showing off their stuff. You went table to table and played them all. And their next event is January 28th. It is Watch the Skies. It's a mega game, 68 players. We also have a butt ton of gaming cons, conventions. So there's a Catacon, that was just last month, and GloryCon is every year at Wright State University. And in February is Daycon Gaming in Fairborn. So you can just go meet other nerds, play games for 2 days in a row. Hopefully you shower. Extra Life Dayton. Extra Life is a charity that's aligned with the Children's Miracle Network, and they raise money for sick children. So if you hate sick children, don't get involved. The local one raises money for Dayton Children's, and it basically gives you an excuse to play games. Anyway, that's Dayton Gaming in a nutshell. I know I left out tons of stuff. There's lots of game designers and stuff going on that I didn't mention. And if you ever want to play games and drink beer with somebody, I'm your man. I got cards in my jacket. Come find me. We'll play some games. It'll be awesome. Thank you. Stay warm.
Let's have one more hand for Joshua. He was great.